Hello everyone, I'm Kenshin. Welcome to Talk History. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Also, remember to turn on notifications. Thank you. Today's historical mystery is, what was the true cause of Tutankhamun's death? Over 100 years ago, on November 4th, a 12-year-old local boy named Hussein Abd el-Rassul, responsible for bringing water to archaeologists, imitated the British by probing around with a stick. Suddenly, he hit an unusual stone step. Howard Carter had a hunch that there must be a significant portion still buried underground. The team dug down 16 steps along the approximately 6-foot-long stone staircase and discovered 2 royal seals of Tutankhamun. On the 26th, the impatient patron Lord Carnarvon rushed over upon hearing the news, and only then did Carter open the antechamber of the tomb. On February 16, 1923, the archaeology team opened the sealed door entrance. The air from 3,000 years ago was still as dry. But for Carter, besides the musty smell, there was also a sense of fame and accomplishment. "What do you see?" Lord Carnarvon asked in the dark passage. "I can see something, this is amazing," Carter replied with joy. "Our first impression was as if we were looking into a prop room for an opera. The details in the room slowly emerged from the mist. Strange animals, statues, gold, etc., everywhere sparkling." Carter discovered the tomb of Tutankhamun from the New Kingdom period of ancient Egypt, with over 5,000 luxurious burial items unearthed from the 4 preceding chambers, making it the best preserved and richest collection of artifacts from an ancient Egyptian pharaoh's tomb to date. However, a significant question arose after the excavation. After X-ray analysis, it was found that this pharaoh died at the young age of 18. Many people learned from textbooks that he was assassinated by his successor, but is this really the case? Today, we'll clarify the facts through archaeological and scientific analysis. First, let's start with what most people commonly know. Tutankhamun's head trauma was the main cause of death, and his successor, was the most likely culprit. This is based on the discovery of a fragment of his skull in Tutankhamun's X-ray results. But is this the truth? This point needs to be traced back to Carter's discovery of Tutankhamun's golden sarcophagus. In October 1925, he was finally allowed to open the coffin again. The innermost golden anthropoid coffin, with its arms crossed and holding a scepter, weighed 225 kilograms. The blue-gold mask covering Tutankhamun's face also weighed 11 kilograms, adorned with various gemstones and colored glass, as well as sculptures of the protector gods of Upper and Lower Egypt, the falcon god and the cobra god, along with the pillar-shaped beard symbolizing the god of the underworld, Osiris. This mask remains one of the most representative artifacts of ancient Egypt to this day. But upon opening the innermost coffin, they faced a situation. Underneath the shiny mask, there was a large amount of black resin. This was because excessive resin was used due to the rush to bury him quickly, resulting in the golden mask tightly adhering to the mummy's face. At this point, they had to decide whether to forcefully remove the mask or let the mummy remain with the golden mask. Carter, who decided to remove the mask, did so in a brutal manner, even cutting King Tutankhamun's chest in half. Subsequently, they removed the body fragments one by one, causing damage to the mummy. Many archaeologists believe Carter's actions were necessary, but they also led many to mistakenly believe Tutankhamun was murdered, a fact clarified only with advancements in archaeological techniques. Dr. Zahi Hawass, a prominent figure in Egyptian archaeology, commissioned a CT scan of Tutankhamun's mummy, revealing loose bones inside the skull. While the common impression was that he died from a blow to the back of the head, new research indicates otherwise. If the injury occurred before death, the bone fragment would have been stuck due to resin. The damage is now believed to have been caused by Carter's forceful removal of the mask, almost confirming that Tutankhamun did not die from murder. So, what was his cause of death? Nearly a decade ago, Albert Zink from the Italian Mummy and Iceman Research Institute stated in an interview with the Reed Lee newspaper, "Based on our analysis of his abilities, given his left foot's inward bending and deformity, he couldn't stand alone on a chariot. Further genetic analysis helped us understand his condition better. The results showed that his parents were siblings, making hereditary genetic defects the most likely cause, leading to hormone imbalance and poor health in Tutankhamun. Additionally, he suffered from malaria, which could have been a contributing factor to his cause of death. If we remember history, Tutankhamun's parents were actually siblings, sharing the same father, Amenhotep III. Tutankhamun married his sister Ankhesenamun, a common practice in ancient Egypt. However, children born from such unions often suffered from genetic disorders. Tutankhamun notably had Klippel-Feil syndrome, which affects children aged 3 to 5, primarily boys, and typically impacts one leg, causing swelling, pain, and a weakened foot arch, leading to discomfort and limping. These symptoms were evident in CT scans, revealing toe anomalies in his right foot, congenital malformations in his left foot, and foot deformities, explaining the presence of over 130 canes in his tomb, some personally crafted. These canes bore inscriptions of Tutankhamun's and his father's names, representing items from his childhood to adulthood. The consequences of incestuous marriages extended to his descendants, as evidenced by 2 miscarried fetuses in his tomb, confirmed through DNA analysis as his offspring, highlighting the dangers of such unions. Although Tutankhamun's tomb depicted scenes of hunting and warfare, often serving as political propaganda, the presence of a royal fan, adorned with ostrich feathers, suggests a departure from mere symbolism. Ostrich feathers, prized in ancient Egypt, were scarce and could only be obtained from Nubia. Tutankhamun's fan inscription, stating that the feathers were from ostriches he hunted, indirectly portrays him as a capable pharaoh, contrary to assumptions about his physical abilities. Another point to note is the well-known Giza pyramid complex we recognize today. Near the pyramids and the Great Sphinx, inscriptions of Tutankhamun and his wife were found on the bricks, indicating the existence of his hunting lodge here. Although it's challenging to find the original appearance, this also proves that he wasn't merely a bedridden patient but a pharaoh capable of hunting wild animals. However, CT scans revealed another issue. Tutankhamun's mummy had a complex fracture above the left knee. Archaeologists noted 2 problems. The original wound allowed a large amount of resin to flow into the bone, but it seems this wound was infected, with pathogens possibly entering Tutankhamun's bloodstream, leading to sepsis, a possible cause of death. Sepsis alone may not have been enough to take his life. Dr. Zahi's team found traces of another deadly disease in his body, malaria. They discovered evidence of malignant malaria parasites, one of the worst forms of malaria. The research team concluded that the combination of malaria infection and poor congenital health likely exacerbated the sepsis, making it Tutankhamun's most probable cause of death. However, despite archaeological and scientific research, determining Tutankhamun's exact cause of death is not something that can be achieved overnight. Nevertheless, it did cause panic among Egyptian officials at the time. No one expected Tutankhamun to die just 10 years into his reign. Yet, due to his relative obscurity, he was forgotten after a few years. Even tomb raiders didn't touch his tomb. It was only in modern times that the excavation results sparked Egyptomania, making Tutankhamun more influential than pharaohs with greater historical fame. He became synonymous with ancient Egypt, a fact that took everyone by surprise. If you like the content of the program, please don't forget to subscribe, share and leave a message, and please also turn on the little bell.